This is the day that the Lord has made, and we're rejoicing and we are glad in it. It's going to be only a couple of minutes before you, not going to be really long here. I want to emphasize the outrageousness of being in a place of spirituality and walking and seeing the power of God move through your spiritual leader. And for whatever reason that greed may be focused in on, whether it's I'm greedy because I want to have more power, I'm greedy because I want to have money. Ahazi takes things that are not allocated toward him. The prophet said, we're not doing that. The spiritual father said, we're not doing that today. We're going to just do what God has called for us to do. And my call was just to heal him through the power of God, through the instructions of God. He humbled himself. He received his healing for his leprosy. Now he wants to give me gifts. And this causes us pause because there are a lot of times that people will take advantage of a situation when we're most vulnerable. And when God moves in a situation, sometimes people will want to merchandise that moment and they will want to take advantage of us and receive gifts. And really, the gift of God is not for sale. The miracles that God performs in our lives are not for sale. And so we can have a red flag when people want to take advantage of a moment where God intervened and say, well, get in this $50 line, get in this $100 line. I got some water that I want to give you in a vase. It's gonna cure you just like you saw that miracle happen. All those little gimmicks and all those little things that sometimes people fall vulnerable to. And so Gehazi comes and he says, I'm going to get the stuff one way or another. So he invents his story. It says his master sent him, lie number one. No, lie number two is that he invented the story and said that there was a need, and there was no need. Lie number three, or deception number three, causes for him to go back to the citadel stealth-like. Anything that looks like is not right. Anything that will bring people to look at him and say, wonder what these two guys are going with Gehazi into the citadel for. I don't know those. You know those guys? I don't know those guys. Who are those guys? He didn't want to look conspicuous at all. So he grabbed the stuff and he put it in the house, and everything's good. Everything's no traces. All all the stories are gone. Naaman will never come back. He's gone to Syria, and my hands are clean. But he forgot that he was serving a seer. He forgot that he was walking with an authentic man of God. And so he moseyed up to this man of God like business as usual. It's interesting that how we try to presume and try to act like I didn't do anything. And we try to, let's see, okay, I would normally go to him and I would normally be in his face. And so I need to do that, even though I just violated him, even though I just acted outrageously, and he's my master. But no, I'm going to act like I didn't do anything. And he called it on it. I think that's what we ought to do more of. Is call people when we know that people are out of bounds. Call people. No, we're not judging. We're not judging in the sense of condemning people, but we're doing a righteous judgment in the sense of saying, I see you. God has allowed me to see you, and you're wrong. That sometimes I think is missing. People are going the wrong way, and we are too afraid to say, they are wrong. I see you. You're not fooling me. You're out of order according to what God has showed me. Now you can lie. You can lie and say like Gehazi, no, I was here all the time. You say, man, no, you weren't. Didn't my heart go with you when the man came down off of the chariot and you received all the gifts from him? He gave them chapter and verse. No, you're lying to me. And because you are presumptuous enough to lie to me, this is going to be your consequence. You're not going to die like Ananias and Sapphira, that they lied to Peter. Well, actually, they lied to God, and Peter was just standing as an instrument. They didn't recognize they were lying to God, and so both of them dropped dead. No, you're going to live with it. There are sometimes God will make you live with and make you walk around with the judgment on you. My God, with the judgment on you. He won't kill you. He'll just make you a sign of this is what happens with people that do not walk in my servitude and walk in honesty and walk in integrity. Just like he did with Achan. Achan had a pillar. They killed the man and his family, all this stuff, burnt him and put a pillar of stone there. So everybody looked and said, you know what? That's what happened with people who are disobedient. No, I'm not saying that we should kill people. I'm not saying that we should burn them. I'm not saying, but I am saying that we should at least confront people when they're serving in the kingdom of God with their hypocrisy, with their heresy. The reason why it gets like wildfire in a firestorm is because no one says anything. And there is no monument to point out this is what happens to disobedient people. This is what happens when you try to walk in his service and don't walk with integrity and honesty before God. May you have a lively discussion. This teaching in 2 Kings chapter number 5, all of the whole chapter is loaded with stuff. So I would, even after this, I would ask for you just to go line by line and just look at what happened in this story and glean from it. Always remember that the Old Testament is just a tutor to the New Testament's grace. And with that being said, we have a greater responsibility of walking upright before God in his service. Blessings.